to this computer. Okay, welcome back. Still here with Miles. And so we just did too easy. And this one is called, this is Letters to You in 128. Who's at a burn slash the party kids? Miles, I don't know if you're so this is kind of an arc I'm doing. I do lots of these little arcs. So this one was looking at Universe 25, this mouse experiment where they put these mice in an environment of thriving, and they basically die after like 5 years. Like in the beginning, it's awesome, but then it freaks their systems out to be basically not having to survive. And so I made up like a imagination game with a friend in Canada about what kind of people would survive Universe 25.
Uh,
And I'm going my first, like if I was gonna like patch a culture into the mice population, it'd be people that go to burns. So like a bunch of burners with like tons of food, and like they would just have workshops all day and laugh, you know. So I did artists, those are like psychological garbage men of society, and then spiritual people, people that have no need for since they have like potential for infinite space inside, they overcrowding doesn't bother them. And then this one's Who's at a Burn? The Party Kids. So, dear Ewan, I'm back to this little series of why burners would survive the thriving of Universe 25. The burn was interesting. It felt so connected and so loving. And at night, I remember bumping into people that felt more like they were at a club. Obviously, some of them were just out dancing in the bacchanal of the moment. Some of them were looking a little lost from the psychedelics. Some, I imagine, just really came to do drugs and party. I never met a person who didn't respond with kindness. Nearly everyone made eye contact with passersby. Our camp's mission was to offer comfort to all of them, and especially to the lost ones. They were learning at high speed. They were caught up in the moments and the pulls of the lights and music. I think it was ultimately good for a bunch of kids to break their minds open around so many spiritual, healthy people.
mm,
The mind is a nest that I let a bird sit in so I don't feel lonely. These kids were emptying their nests, and there were flocks of elevated birds circling from many of those around them. I think this is a good recipe. The cult I was in was a second iteration of a cult back in the 60s that would scoop up people who had done too many psychedelics. A broken, open mind is often ready for massive growth.
mm,
It's nice when the environment is contained and you can see the growth happening over days. People were ripe because they were allowed to flower. Do you remember when Peter Muntikos set that context on the last day? He said something about how chasing an experience can lead him away from himself. The group in the circle breathed an audible sigh of relief, being seen, and hope. Peter's bird found many nests that day. The context of excess helped the lesson land. And then I was floating this idea with this friend. We were in a hot tub, so we just recorded it. So this is like I just transcribed us super high and talking about it. Here's the excerpt from the video I made with Jeff in the hot tub. I'm gonna do it in the voice that I was doing it in. Okay, I don't know how this is gonna work, but then there's the party kids. There was all these party kids that were like, this kid did way too much acid and he's like 23, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that. And then then that's to me the path. He's on the path, you know? He's trying to find himself, or she's trying to find herself. And they're doing it like Rasputin style. They're doing it like you can do it where you abnegate, like give up the things that distract you, or a lot of people need to know this. You can double down. You can double down on your vices. Like everybody that's addicted to masturbation, I dare you to just light a fucking candle next time. Jeff laughed a ton here. Okay, so the party guys, there's a whole path there where they can grow up. They can develop. And I'll go back to my normal voice. Abnegation equaling good and excess equaling bad isn't a great recipe. It
Mm,
flies in the faces of to every season, turn, 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 and everything in moderation, even moderation. I could be making limerence bad, but I'm not. My body is moving this direction, and I think it's at least equally traumatizing to live in an echo chamber of no's. When innocence is running full tilt and doesn't realize the sliding glass door is closed, it's an arguably healthier lesson to get put on your ass than being taught to fear. Let me read it again. I like that line. When
mhm,
innocence is running full tilt and doesn't realize the sliding glass door is closed, it's an arguably healthier lesson to get put on your ass than being taught to fear.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
There's so much intention at a burn. We're doing a lot of things together. The misguidedness is greatly ameliorated by the closed container, the presence of
mhm,
people who have already walked the party path, and the gentleness and affirmation of humanity that's prevalent at a burn.
mhm,
Yeah, they're breaking themselves, but I think they're breaking themselves open. And there's so many healthy birds waiting to pop a brain squat when they do.
mhm,
When
mhm,
people can have fun developing, they will ultimately climb up Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The higher needs are the ones that ensure the survival of thriving, from safety and belonging into esteem and self actualization. The higher needs that actually produce cooperation, skills, and institutions are absorbed by the youngsters of the tribe. I hope you chuckled a lot reading this, Mike.
mhm. It's like this one's like kind of the of the two to read, it's kind of like the opposite pole of the first, where the first one was taking me deeper into something that I already just care so much about. This one is kind of helping to wipe some of the
Yeah.
judgment and
Oh,
dismissal
yeah.
off of uh like a whole realm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like to me it's so beautiful because like instead of them having to like do it alone and then they break their minds and then the birds they're just trading birds with each other, And like, at a burn, I mean, people were like, I was doing the shift where I just sit next to the path, just like
Mhm.
smiling, and then people walk by and you can just tell when they're too high. And I was like, hey, how you doing? Do you want a pancake? And they'd be like, yeah, I do. And then I just be like, just like circle them in that way where I'm like not doing any introspecting direction. I'm just
Uh,
like, what's now like? And they really like when they come out of it, it's really beautiful, just to give them that contact to change the
totally.
recipe. Yeah.
And what I'm hearing too is that you saw a lot of people naturally giving each other positive
Yeah.
contact in that broken open space.
It's like take that, instances of that, and then you know how like when you're walking on the street, it's like you almost like shouldn't get hurt feelings if like somebody doesn't acknowledge you, like in New York or something. Like if you make eye
Mhm,
contact with somebody and they just look away, that's
mhm,
like
mhm.
grow the fuck up. But like at a burn, everybody's like, hi. It's like that is like the micro thing. And then this other thing, this big thing is like the day me and Ewan said goodbye, I like just went for a walk and this group of girls, they were like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I think I'm. I think I'm in love and it's nothing's gonna happen. And they were like, oh, come with us. And they just like grabbed my arm and we like,
Really?
yeah, we like crawled through these like weird tubes to get into this like dance party. And they weren't like interested in like talking to me or anything, but they kept like pulling me along, you know? And I was like, I just, what a great place to get a broken heart, you know? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
They sensed the like the need for contact.
Yeah. Yeah. I was okay. So this is the a conversation I had today, and the person didn't seem to understand, but it's like, I told them, I was like, when I was 12, I had this like 3 days of like feeling really confident about my brain. Like, it was like, I was like, this is awesome. Life is awesome. It makes sense. And then somebody like knocked me off that high horse or whatever horse it was. And that's okay. I've lost my confidence many times in my life. And then I was telling him, as I was like, if I would have had more contact before that happened,
Hmm.
like contact of meaning and like presence and being, I think that when this happened, I wouldn't have fallen down so far
Oh, definitely.
because I would have had like something non-rational to, you know, like
Yeah.
a bathroom
Like if we
handle.
don't have a solid base, then
Yeah,
like everything just knocks us
right,
so much harder.
right.
Just,
Yeah.
hmm.
I'm glad I got to make you laugh. Ugh.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really, really fun listening to your words
Mhm.
and listening to the way you say them
Mhm.
too.
Thanks. Oh
And
man.
because I know you, I also like know you're not acting.
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, what's funny is like I've written 290 and it's kind of like scary because I don't edit them much. You know, like sometimes I'll go back
uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
I don't like to. I like doing it. I keep the same mind on that I have when we do flows, like just the
Hmm.
intuitive thread switching and just whatever my brain says, I'm like just trusting.
Hmm.
And then when I come back, sometimes I don't even understand the fucking letter. Until
Totally.
like, and then what's weird, I'll not understand it as I'm reading it. And then when I watch it, then I'm like, oh, that was really cool. That was a really good idea.
Like a lot of the best stuff takes at least a couple
Yeah.
like runs before you get what the hell is
Right.
going on or even start to get what's going on.
Right. Hmm.
Definitely not AI too. I like
Yeah,
that.
dude. That's the other thing is I was like, man, with ChatGPT, like it's awesome. I can just be me. I'm like the opposite of ChatGPT.
Totally. Like the Antichrist of
Yeah.
like
The
GPT.
anti-PT.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, you gotta go. Let me stop this.
I do have to go.